Hey, how you doing? This is Coach Carville Bailey, and welcome to another episode of Lunch and Learn. All right, you don't want to miss this. I'm trying to get my angles together because we got the sunshine out finally. You don't want to miss this. All right, we're gonna talk about something that everybody needs to hear. We're talking about accountability and responsibility for our athletes. All right, we'll be back in 1 minute. Make sure that you share this with somebody that you know that can benefit from it. All right, be right back.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carville Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Use your mentality to master the craft. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carville Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is Strategic.
All right, y'all. Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Welcome to another episode of Coach Carville Bailey's Lunch and Learn. All right, let me know. I'm gonna go big screen on my end because I want to see me, and I want to definitely make sure that the optics are right. All right. So let me know what city and state you're checking in from. But this is one that everybody probably has been waiting on. Right. So last 48 hours or so. I've been really pissing the AAU community off, right? I've been really upsetting them. And at this point in my career, I take pride in doing it because I consider myself, I'm the spook who sat by the door. All right. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this movie, if you've ever read the book, but I'm the head coach who can give all the answers to the COINTEL that's going on to the people that don't know any better. And so oftentimes when I speak, Coach Carville Bailey, when I speak, a lot of times I am attempting to change the belief system in a lot of individuals' minds. Because a lot of individuals, they have been set in their ways on what they perceive the game of basketball to be about nowadays. And so we've been talking about Ja Morant, right? And his bonehead choices, his improper decision-making, right? Well, I had a show, we actually did a show about a week and a half ago in which we talked about that athletes need to be able to have conflict resolution skills, right? They have to be able to effectively communicate. And they also have to be able to problem solve. Those three things are huge. Effective communication, conflict resolution, and problem solving. If our athletes don't have those three things, it puts them in an uncompromising situation, both on the court and off the court. Now, we're dealing with athletes. We're dealing with younger athletes. They have to be taught how to do things, not just taught what to do. They have to be taught how to do them. And then it has to be explained why they have to do it. All right. And so again, I always talk about it as 3 stages. There's introduction, then there's teaching, then there's coaching. A lot of people jump to the coaching before the teaching, but you have to introduce something, then you have to teach it, and then you can coach those individuals on it. So somebody has to be introduced to, and a lot of times that introduction is awareness, right? So they have to be introduced to effective communication, to conflict resolution, to problem solving. They have to be introduced to those things. Then they have to be taught what those things are. Then they can be coached on them based on certain situations in their lives. Now, I always say that teachers can coach, but not all coaches can teach. All right, I'm gonna say that again. Good teachers can coach, but not all coaches can teach, right? And so oftentimes people skip a step. They go from introduction to coaching, and they miss the step in the middle, which is teaching. And a lot of people just go straight to coaching. They don't even introduce it. So if your athlete doesn't have conflict resolution skills, they haven't been introduced to it, they haven't been taught about it, it's hard to coach them on it, and because they're not even aware of it. The same way with effective communication, right? As well as like the conflict resolution, the effective communication, and the problem solving. Those things go on in basketball games. Athletes have to be the problem solver based on a different defense, right? So what we saw with Ja Morant, his decision-making has come from his habits. And a lot of, right, so I talk about the AAU / club / travel ball / drill music communities. I'm gonna put all those together. AAU, club ball, travel ball, drill music. I'm gonna put all of those together. The culture in those environments, the culture overall in those environments is one, lack of awareness from adults and kids overall. A lack of accountability, a lack of responsibility. All right. Now, I'm a history teacher. I got stuff up on my walls. Ain't none of that mine. I got one thing on my wall. That's this. That's the most important thing in my room. Because every day I want them to understand they need to be respectful. They need to be responsible. They need to be rational. They need to think before they act. They need to be renewed, and then they need to be ready, right? And finally, be great on purpose. A lot of coaches on the high school levels, middle school level, travel ball, AAU, club, all those things, a lot of coaches, they aren't practicing, they aren't teaching or coaching accountability. And that's evident from players bouncing from one team to another. Where's the accountability? So it's okay to just leave and just go other places just because you have the ability to, you have the right to. My dad taught me something a long time ago. He said, just because you have the right doesn't make it right. So our young athletes, they're listening to this music, and it's the same music their coaches are listening to. And so everybody got the same mindset, and the mindset is being pushed upon them by the culture vultures. And somebody asked me yesterday, what do you mean by the culture vultures? Well, we know that Damon Dash talks about the individuals that's profiting off of Black African-American culture. And so they profit, right? They're vultures. They profit off the backs of Blacks, right? That's the history of this country. I teach it every day. But then you also have the culture vultures who are okay with the current culture, and they're totally vultures, and they totally try to eat alive those individuals that think different. And so if you want your athlete to play on the next level, not only do they have to understand and apply these 5 things, but there has to be some form of accountability and some form of responsibility. People say, yeah, Second Amendment. Again, I teach it. I teach it. I want to hear about like that. This is what I think. This is what I teach, right? I understand the Second Amendment, but just because he has the right don't make it right. All right. Again, let's go back. Effective communication, problem solving, conflict resolution. This dude is in a current conflict, right, with his employer. He's in a current conflict, and he doesn't necessarily know how to properly resolve the conflict. The conflict may be getting away with your friends, right? Finding a new circle, getting new people in your life, right? Just blocking everybody out. But how can you do that if you've been part of a culture that just gives it to you? No accountability. You can mess up. We're going to just give it to you. We're going to give you playing time. We're going to let you travel to this state and play with this team. We're going to let you go over here and play with this team. We're going to do, when you get to the NBA, we're going to give it all to you. So bad habits are being reinforced to our athletes because, again, most coaches, they just want to win basketball games. See, we don't have coaches nowadays. I'm going to talk to the coaches nowadays. Some of y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Some of y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. What's the last professional development that you've been part of? Parents, I dare you to ask your athletes coach this week 2 questions. What's the last professional development they've been to, right? Like, what's the last coaching professional development that they've been to that's going to help them in coaching? And it doesn't have to be a coaching clinic, right? It's a lot of different professional developments that'll help somebody in coaching, because coaching, we're dealing with people. All right. So I dare you. Ask your coach what's the last professional development that they've been part of that will help them with their coaching. And then I want you to ask them, who is their coach? Ask them, do they have a coach? Do they have a coach that's teaching, pouring into them, helping them? And if they don't, how can a coach tell your athlete what to do and they don't have a coach? See, most coaches that don't have a coach are uncoachable. Does that make sense? But you give your athletes to these individuals. And because they haven't gotten professional development, they don't have a coach, they aren't aware of a lot of things. So they're missing, it's a lot of blind spots that they're missing. And it's affecting your athlete because it's affecting the culture. So it's okay for people to say, hey, he only had a gun. I ain't nothing there. They killing us every day, right? I'm going to lean in and say this. They killing us every day. They killing us every day. Who is they? You pick. White supremacy, police, black people, stick up men, you pick. But they killing us every day. And so for another black individual to say that it's okay for this young man to flash guns and he's in the spotlight, you part of the problem. My son, who's in kindergarten, is playing basketball. And when these little kids score, guess what they do? They do the gritty. So if these young athletes are doing the gritty because they see said individual doing the gritty on the basketball court, which dancing on the basketball court is totally disrespectful anyway. That's a whole nother conversation. A lot of y'all probably won't feel the way I feel, that dancing on the court is disrespectful to the game of basketball. Not just to you, your opponent, your coach. Dancing on the court, all that, that's disrespectful to the game of basketball. If you don't understand it, I'm not going to explain it to you. But if these kids as young as kindergartners doing the gritty because they see certain individuals doing it, how dare you say there's nothing wrong with him flashing a weapon multiple times where everybody can see like it's cool, like it's good. You part of the problem. And I don't care if you have a doctorate. I don't care if you're a head college coach. I don't care if you're the president. I don't care what your profession is. They're killing us out here. And I see it each and every day. So I take it a little personally. And I'm going to push the envelope. Again, I'm the spook that's set by the door. I'm going to give you the truth. Now it's up to you to do what you want to do with it. I take pride at this point in my life and my career pissing the AAU people off. Because again, all the AAU people ain't AAU people. But whatever, I have no problem with putting issues on the table that's going to press forward. And it's going to make people think. Like we wish the best for Ja, but I mean, it could be who he is. Teddy Pendergrass had a song a long time ago. It said, everywhere you go, there you are. You can't hide from yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are. Ja Morant is who Ja Morant is. Whatever, and people talk about NBA Youngboy and all that. I want you to go and Google, right? Go and Google, go and look up what NBA Youngboy said. NBA Youngboy had an interview, and he said, man, I made a lot of money in my career. He said, but I've been brainwashed. He said, I enticed a lot of people to do a lot of bad things to other people. I'm paraphrasing. He said, and it's hurting my people. He said, I made a lot of money, but I know for certain there are a lot of people who've done some bad things, all because of what I said on my music, and I'm sorry for it. So if this man has said that about his own music, then the people listening to it just getting hoodwinked. Go listen to that interview with your athlete. If they like NBA Youngboy, go have them listen to that video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can pin it or whatever under this. But listen, athletes need to be accountable, and they need to be held responsible. And if they aren't being held responsible and held accountable, we are the problem. But accountability and responsibility comes from building and creating habits. What habits are we reinforcing? What habits are we just ignoring? Right? I really want y'all to understand this. All right. And I was big screen. I'm looking at the comments now as my students coming in. Right. Andre, I appreciate you. Kelly, how you doing? Right. Appreciate you here. All right. Ginger, thank you for sharing this. All right. But like really, like this is something that I want to put out there because I'm passionate about it and I'm serious about it. And I want you to ask your athletes, coaches, those two questions. Ask them, right? What's the last professional development that they've been a part of, that they've went to? And then listen to what they say. And then ask them, what is the last, right? Ask them who is their coach and just see what they say. But it should kind of show you who your kids are in the hands of. Now, it don't mean that they're bad people. But what you want for your athlete to be with a doctor who hasn't been properly trained. I always talk about malpractice. It's a lot of malpractice out here. And the blind is leading the blind. And so when somebody like myself talk, it's foreign language. But guess what? I didn't sit in the first seat, so I know the truth. And oftentimes I make the AAU people mad, the club people, because I'm messing up their money. Oftentimes with college coaches, because they got to have something in their back pocket to help their recruiting. I'm in a situation at a point now where I can just be a straight shooter and teach. So I was supposed to talk about my camp and all those things too. So we got our summer camp series going on, right? June and July. You can check that out at carvelbailey.com/camps. I dropped the link too. So we have a shooting camp. We have a father and son, father and daughter camp. We have 2 different skill development camps. So check it out, right? Check it out. If you haven't had a chance to check out my case study video, go check that out right underneath BeTheRightRecruit.com. If you want, excuse me, if you want for your athlete to have a little bit more awareness, sometimes I gotta, if you want your athlete to have a little bit more awareness and to be able to really find out more about themselves and how that affects or can enhance their ability as a player, then right, we already have a special tool that we use, a scientific tool, a survey, to help them understand what their strengths are. If you want your athlete, right, it's $97 for that assessment. For the second time. Now, the third time, y'all gonna be quiet for the rest of the period. Please try me. So if that's you, then reach out to me. All right, but I gotta go before they lose their minds. All right, straight shooter. Yep. All right, Coach Carvel Bailey. I'll holler at y'all. Listen, share this with somebody that you know that needs to hear this. All right, and together, right? Together, let's continue pushing the true culture forward, responsibility and accountability. And let's continue to piss these AAU club drill music and travel people off, especially if they're not doing it the right way. All right, I'll holler. Peace.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Bless the Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Bless the Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Bless the Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is strategic.